So I was flipping through YouTube Shorts the other day, and I came across a video where a woman was basically on a talk show, like it was a phone call, um, and she was talking about how her husband has a problem with alcohol, and she was like, he's ruining the budget, this, that, and the other, and the guy was basically saying, you're dealing with an alcoholic, and this, that, and the other, and, like, he needs to come clean, basically, right? And I've learned that this idea of, like, alcoholism or addiction is a form of black or white thinking, right? Because you're either an alcoholic or you're not. You're either an addict or you're not, right? And so as I was listening and I was thinking, I was like, this isn't a one-sided thing. And actually, I don't think anything in life really is, right? If you don't have a willingness to listen to both sides of every story, you're only going to know, one side of it. Which is fascinating too, because that's kind of also, when I look at it now, it's like sort of black or white thinking, right? It's either this person or that person, right? And so, again, the theme here is black or white thinking. And what I've learned is that, like I was saying before, addiction, alcoholism, it's black or white thinking. You're either an addict or you're not. You're either an alcoholic or you're not. There's no middle ground, right? And so in the case of that woman, I'm sure that there is another side, obviously, because there's something happening that is undesired, unfavorable, right? And the woman, I guess in this case, the wife, doesn't like it, right? But then if you were to ask the alcoholic why he does what he does, right? Like, for instance, maybe the woman is emotionally available. And I'm not saying this as fact. I'm not claiming that this is just the end-all, be-all, and that's what it is. But, like, I'm looking at it and I'm like, you're only considering one side of the story. Maybe the woman, maybe the wife, is emotionally unavailable, and it is absolutely emotionally draining for the man. And so that's painful for him. What does he do to sublimate his pain? He drinks. Sure, in excess, right? But at least there is a why. So, and I'm not to say that that's what it is, for sure, for fact, right? But if that is what it is, asking the why presents a conclusion, presents a solution. And it's not just as simple as, oh, well, he's just an alcoholic and he's got to get clean. Because, so, the fascinating thing about black or white thinking is that it disgustingly simplifies, oversimplifies life, right? Life and people are not that certain. Like, you can create an idea in your mind that a person is bad, another form of black or white thinking, right? Good or bad, right? A person is bad because they're an alcoholic, another form of black or white thinking, right? Why do they do what they do? Why do they excessively drink alcohol? Why do they excessively consume alcohol, right? That's the question, right? So if you were to ask them that, and, maybe it would take them a while to open up. Who knows, right? But just concluding that somebody is an alcoholic and that they need to come clean and that there is nothing else there that needs to be looked at is way too simplified, right? There are always two sides of a story. Now, if the guy is just that way and he doesn't care and this, that, and the other, there are some people out there that maybe are like that. But I also don't believe that it's that simple. I believe that everyone does things that they do, and they do the things that they do for a reason. There is a why, right? Foundationally, with every action that a human partakes in, there is a why as to what they're doing, right? And to avoid that, to negate that, is, I'm not going to call it dangerous territory. I'm just going to call it for what it is. It is insufficient, right? It is lacking a lot, right? And so, I sit with that, and man, like, as I've been learning about black or white thinking, I'm fucking seeing it everywhere, right? and just asking a person why they do what they do, you know. If I don't know, if a person works too much, right? Oh, they don't give enough time to their family, right? They work too much. Maybe they're sublimating some pain that they have in regards to their family through their work, so they're less present with their family, right? There are always reasons as to why stuff like this takes place. I want to give another example just to put things into perspective more. I have seen people blame bad behavior on just evil, like the fact that it's evil. I'm sorry for what I did to you, or I'm sorry for the pain that I caused you. Just know that it was based in evil. And so evil, you know, good versus evil, another form of black or white thinking. But also the funny thing here is that instead of taking responsibility for, I don't really, I mean, I guess saying I'm sorry is partly taking responsibility for something, right? But then blame shifting, right? Saying it wasn't me, it was evil, and I'm not evil, but it wasn't me. It was evil. It was a product of evil. Oh, so now you're saying that what you did actually had nothing to do with you, and it was just pure evil, right? So that's black or white thinking, right? Good versus evil, and then blame shifting. And to an extent, I understand why people do that. But again, life, people are far more complex than that. Sorry, I had something in my throat. Life, geez, come on. There we go. Life and people are seriously far more complex than that. That's just the reality of things. Life and people and things that happen, people that do things that are done by people, I could say that a million different ways, are far more complex than that. So the certainty that a person has that a person is bad or good because of this or that, it is far too simplified, and it is an inaccurate and insufficient way of looking at things, right? So that woman that jumped on that call and she was like, you know, my husband has a drinking problem. Okay, well, we're just going to resort that it's your husband's fault, he's the problem, and he needs to come clean, and he's an alcoholic. Well, no, that's way too oversimplified. Why don't we ask him why he does that? Why don't we ask him why he drinks excessively, Friday through Sunday? Again, just throwing out examples, maybe the wife is emotionally unavailable. Maybe there is something about the relationship dynamic that causes him a lot of pain, right? And instead of, if it needs to be the case, getting a divorce, he sublimates his pain through drinking, right? Just like you could sublimate your pain through working and become a workaholic, right? You're either a workaholic or you're not, right? There is no in between. I believe in both and. I believe, I mean, it's not just a matter of belief, it's a matter of reality. Like I said before, life is just way too complex. People are just way too complex to oversimplify to, this or that. And this person is this way, and that's, they are the problem, and they need to change. They need to come clean. That's not going to get anyone very far. It's really not. You could ask them why they do what they do. That'll dive you into a massive fucking universe. Yeah, it really will. And they might not even want to answer, and that's on them, right? They might not even want to explore that. But the big thing here is asking why, because there's a lot there. There really is. There always is. I love how I say always, never, black or white thinking. Black or white thinking is like everywhere. There we go. I did it again. Everywhere, nowhere. I'm just so fascinated as I've learned about black or white thinking, how evident it is in so many different things that I see, right? And that's just very fascinating to me.